discussion today, first we have to define what is right. So, right is the entitlement or empowerment to do certain things. So, what is entitlement or power? When we say entitlement, it is a person na legitimately na have the right to do something or to have something, while power is the ability to make choices or to make decisions. So, for example, if a teacher have the right to teach in a classroom, then another example is priests have the right to worship. So, ang right are moral claims recognized by society, and they provide liberty, choice, and empowerment. Like, for example, if tagaan of freedom of speech, it allows you to express sa imong opinion, imong emotion, pero it does not give you the right para harm ka ka ikaw. Natay two different types of rights. I have different types of rights. So, first, we have legal rights. When we say legal rights, it is protected by law. Next, we have constitutional rights. When we say constitutional rights, we guaranteed siya by the Constitution. Next, we have fundamental rights. When we say fundamental rights, it's the basic rights of the citizen. Next, we have last is the moral rights. Moral rights is based on ethical principle. So, naatay different types of basic rights. So, first, we have the right to life, the right to security, the right to education, right to freedom of speech, right to employment, right to express opinion, right to legal remedies, right to contractual rights, right to human rights, and right to equality. So, for example, sa right to education. So, ang right to education dapat i-ensure niya tanang children kay na sila access to school, like regardless sa lang economic background. Then, moral rights. Moral rights allow individuals to pursue their interests as long as others are not harmed. So, for example, if you have the right to choose sa imo ang career, pero dili na siya meaning na kayo right para ma-exploit o laing tao. Next, we have two different rights. Ang negative rights and positive rights. So, what is negative rights? Negative rights are rights to be free from interference by others' life, liberty, and property rights. So, when we say negative rights, for example, for example, sa negative rights is wala kayo rights to interfere sa personal life sa ibang tao. Ang positive rights are rights that have duty and to supply. So, kaning positive rights is require others to provide assistance. Like, for example, ang government, kailangan sila mo provide sa for example, na yung right to education. So, ang government, kailangan sila mag-provide something like school, teachers, or books. So, si Kant and Rawls, Rawls kay nag-argue na sila, na sila argue about sa intrinsic value, meaning every human being is valuable simply for being human, not because of the wealth, status, and usefulness as a katao. Kay ang rights, na siya different, rights can look different across social groups because cultures and societies have different traditions and practices for showing respect and protecting human dignity. So, what is intrinsic value di ay? So, intrinsic value means how important a person is we all believe that ang people daw is na ay intrinsic value. Pero nasa na yung different explanation. According to Kant, a person is valuable because they can think, reason, and choose what is morally right. Like for example, if gamit ka bang tao para lang sa imong own gain, so it is wrong because it is disrespect their rational dignity. Si Rawls Budkay, nag-believe siya that ang intrinsic value comes from our ability to be fair and just. So a society should dapat mag-create rules of society na dapat kanang itong na ay equal chances sa tanan. Si Nozick Wood, nag-argue siya nga ang intrinsic value daw lies in self-ownership. Meaning, each person owns their life, freedom, and property. So in short, si Kant ay nag-focus siya on moral reasoning, si Rawls ay nag-focus siya sa fairness and justice, and lastly, si Nozick ay nag-focus siya sa individual liberty and property rights. So next. So now to dive on Feld's theory of rights, that claims power, privilege, and immunity. So first, we have claims. So claims is one can demand something. So for example, ang workers have the right to claim nila ang fair na wages. Next, we have power. So ang power is the ability to change legal relation. Like for example, a judge can issue legal orders. Next, we have immunity. When we say immunity, immunity is a protection from others' power. Like for example, constitutional rights protect citizens from unjust laws. Lastly, we have privilege. Privilege is the freedom to act. Like for example, nakay freedom para mo choose sa imong profession, nakay freedom nga storya tanan. Next, natay different types of duties and rights. Kaning duties and rights kay correlative ni sila, nasa like correlation. So ang one, ang duties di siya mag-exist equalay rights, ang rights di siya mag-exist equalay duties. So we have different types natay nature of duties. So first we have respect for truth. Next, respect for laws, respect for society and state, respect for life, and respect for freedom and personality. So when we say respect for truth, this means that nag-value siya of honesty and accuracy. For example, dapat mag-stick ka o sa tinuod at dapat mag-avoid ka o kanang mga lies. So in short, ang respect for truth ay nag-build siya of trust. Next, we have respect for law. So this refers to recognizing and obeying the rules that govern society. So dapat kanang nag-follow ka sa mga rules and regulation, nag-accept mo ang legal responsibilities. So in short, respect for law helps to maintain order and safety. Next, we have respect for life. So, respect for life is this value emphasizes the dignity and worth of all living beings, like especially human life. So, dapat i-avoid mo ang violence, dapat mag-promote ka o ganang peace, health, and well-being. So, in short, ang respect for life is the foundation of human rights and moral responsibility. Next, we have respect for freedom. This means acknowledging each person's right to think, speak, and act freely within ethical and legal limits. So, dapat i-respect mo ang opinion sa uban, dapat i-respect mo ilang beliefs and ilang choices. So, next we have respect for society and the state. This involves then dapat nagabayad yung ka of taxes, and dakan pa. Next, we have types of duties. So, natay tulo ka duties. Duties to self, duties to others, and duties to God. When we say duties to God, like for example, I mean duties to self, meaning like dapat maintain na to atong good health, like ganyan. Dapat mag-self-implement ta. Next, we have duties to others. So, atong duties to others is dapat tabangan nato sila, ganyan. Tapos, duties to God is, for example, kanang practicing, kanang worship, ganyan. Then, we also have, next. So, natay Kantian theory of duty. So, naa siya'y duha ka buok theory. First, we have perfect obligation and imperfect obligation. So when we say perfect obligation, a perfect obligation is strict, definite, and must always be followed. It leaves no discretion. Failing to fulfill is morally wrong. So for example, if like dapat always you gonna tell the truth and like yes, always you're gonna tell the truth. Well, an imperfect obligation is flexible, encourages good after, dili na siya demandable all the time. Like for example, helping others in need. Like dapat you should help others when you can, but it's not morally wrong if you cannot help every single person. So naputay for Kantian's principle. Next. So, first we have the morality of your action depends on what you intend to do and not on the consequences. So, meaning it is an action is morally right if it is done from good intention, not just because it produces good health. Like for example, nag-return ka wallet. Yung i-return ang wallet because it is the right thing to do. Dili ka nagulat lang pa sa imong like na receive the reward. Next, we have moral rules are impartial and these apply equally to everyone. So, meaning moral rules are universal. They apply to everyone regardless of status, wealth, and situation. Like for example, lying is wrong. So if you're like, if unsa pa ka diha or like president ka or like kanang advisor ka diha, like mo apply gyud na siya nimo kay universal man siya. Next, we have an action is moral only if you can justify the rule that everyone can follow. Like, you can only act according to the rules that could consistently be applied for everyone without contradiction. Like, for example, if mag-cheat ka sa test, so mukhani ka, what if kanang tanan mag-cheat siya, so dili na siya universal. Dili na siya mawala na ang concept sa testing. Next, we have people are not merely means to an end. They should be treated as human beings infinite value. So, meaning people should never be used merely as tools for someone else's purposes. For example, you cannot manipulate coworkers to gain promotion because you're treating them merely as means to your goals rather than respecting their dignity as a person. So, natay two tests. Next, naputay Robert Mosig theory of entitlement and property rights. Natay tulo ko buo. First, we have principle of justice in acquisition of private property. So, ang meaning this principle concerns how people rightfully acquire ownership resources. Like for example, if the worker kani siya is like well siya like good siya nga ma-act. While if you're taking someone else's property without consent, is not just acquisition. Next, we have principle of justice in the transfer of private property. So, meaning ano niya, it deals with how properly or sources are transferred between people. So, for example, if nag-sell ka, like bicycle o friend, and nag-agree mo sa price, so, ang giving away a gift voluntarily is also just. Pero stealing, or like nung i-push ang someone para lang makuha mo ang property, kaya di unjust siya. Next, we have rectification of injustice in the case of unjust transfer of private property. So, meaning niya, if an acquisition or transfer was unjust, then steps should be taken to correct it. So, like, if unjust ay nakuan, nila ang mga action dapat actionan na din siya, dapat like correct na din siya. So, next we have two popular theories of distributive justice. First, si Nozick does not agree with Marxian theory of equality. Next, si Nozick also does not believe in the difference principle of roles. Next, we have criticism against Nozick's theory of entitlement. So, first, si Nozick's views that taxation in unjust is not true. In many cases, taxpayers receive benefits in return. Next, Nozick is not completely accurate in signing a minimal rules to the state. And lastly, Nozick is in favor of proper and voluntary bequests. So that's all.
So let's now proceed to the 7 prima facie duties by William David Ross. So William David Ross was a Scottish philosopher known for his work in ethics and moral philosophy. So he introduced the concept of prima facie duties in his book, The Right and the Good. So another si William David Ross, hindi na daw isa ka rule ang ethics unless napa daw ang prima facie duties, which means kanang moral duties na need sundon unless na ay mas usog na duty na mo supersede. So kanang bitaw like kanang something na mas important or mas convenient sa isang situation. So let's now proceed to the 7 prima facie duties. So the first one we have is the fidelity, keeping promises and being honest in all situations. So simple na kayo siya, no? Keeping promises. So if you promise something, so dapat imo siya kumanon. For example, sa business, if honesty kayo sa inyong contracts, being honest sa inyong contracts or sa inyong deal, so that's fidelity. The next one we have is the justice based on equity and fairness. So as usual, justice dapat patas, wala ibabor-babor, or basic definition. The third one is the gratitude. Individuals principle and to return a favor by words or deeds. So if someone helps you, you owe them respect and kindness. So bali ang gratitude di ka lang utang utang. So diba if may tawag nato, iba marang utang sa kanila, so like we owe them one. The fourth one is non-malice. So avoiding harm to others. So don't do things na makadala sa uban, maski makabenefit ka paana, makaprofit ka. So mura na ayaw pa ng itong tao. And the that business ethics differ from personal ethics. So Albert Carr compared business to a poker game where certain forms of deceptions like bluffing are acceptable. So I see Albert Carr's believe na business ethics is different from personal ethics. Para niya ang negosyo daw ay isang poker game. Lagyan din niya sa poker ay nagsadula ang poker. 9 rules o ang goal kay ang daw, which means to maximize profit. So, ay bangkol like interpretation ni Adam Smith of the Milton Friedman na ang goal daw, primarily ang responsibilities of business kay to increase profit. Next slide. So like add up ang key ideas of course, theories sa business versus personal ethics. So ana si Carr na ang sayo sa personal life pwede mahimong acceptable sa business. Like for example, sa personal life, lying is wrong. Pero sa business kay some level of deception is expected. Kaya of course, pag sa business naman pwede mga deceptions na matabo. Para ni Carr dahil ang moralidad sa negosyo o sa personal na kinabuhi. That's how we receive ko in his principle. So next is the profit of maximization principle. So Carr states that the profit maximization principle should guide business actions. So deception such as bluffing is seen as a legitimate part of business, just like bluffing in a poker game. So however, it must still follow the rules of the game, so meaning within legal and competitive limits. So even though like sa business na apply din ka ng deception, they should still ka ng dapat lalagyan sila sa rules. So bali more legal ra din ang himo to ka lang nagagawin sila, nag-block sila in something. And next is types of business tactics for approach. So the first one again is the deception. So deception is like intentionally misleading others to gain something, to gain an advantage. So while morality ka lang nag-bluff or like somehow limbo ba, pero like in a legal way siya, I don't know kung isa makapag-legal, pero like narin siya within sa rules. So para ni Albert Carr, normal na ang deception sa negosyo basta din illegal. So the next one we have is the neglectful safety access. So ignoring or failing to install safety devices to reduce cost or increase profit is ang pagdelikado. So magdepende na diyan kung nasa katao. If ever like para ni Parman good, kung legal naman na hindi mo galing mag-install of any safety devices, pwede na daw hindi magdugang anak. Kaya ang business ng goal, kaya ang goal is to increase profit. So, okay lang mag-ili. If okay lang dyan, ganyan ka, safety devices, why not? So, ang responsibility sa safety, kaya naarap daw na sa sa mga regulators. So, next is regulatory culture. So, when businesses influence or control regulators, so that will favor the business instead of the public. So, mostly mga like sa mga businessmen, dapat sila influence na so like na sila government sa mga sa mga so like ilang ng way para discarded ko na nila para sa ilang negosyo even though they need to carry a benefit ng public. So if nila nang ma-influence nila mga regulators in legal way, so okay na nila siya, wala siya problema. Kay mostly sa mga business owners and try to do it. So next, ang sunod is ang Carr's motion. Carr still wants businesses to stay within the spirit of the law. So just like what I said, dapat na siya within dito ang sulit siya dapat sa inyong rules sa law. Next is bluffing is acceptable but malicious deception is wrong. Like sa ako kung ingon, dapat if ever mo active mo bluffing or like deception ever, dapat hindi siya makapasakit, dapat hindi siya illegal way to buhaton. And then advertising, this is the best product in the market, is fine, but lying about safety is not. So if ever mo di ba, bisan alanganin na ang ilang mga panimbrada, pinagyan hindi ko alam sa mas para lang mabaligyan. However, okay lang na na. Pero, kung mag-buy na yung mga facility sa isang kapuan, like device, palit-palit sa isang tawag natin sa every round of months. So, kailangan mo consider sa critical appraisal of yours unit. We have two. The first one is the teleological grounds and the utilitarianism. So, teleological grounds is the end justifies the means. So, kung daw, kasagot ang profit daw, maayosihan kung sakto ang like bukas. So, kung makaganan siya daw ang company, bisan pa kung na-exception na nakita mo, okay na daw siya para pang-car, may other car. So, okay na, the end justifies the means. So, nabasa sila sa profit, nakita ko, okay, nabasa siya sa outcome, sa engagement. And the next one is the utilitarianism. If deception helps maximize profit and benefits the company, it is seen as good. So, basically, bahala lang na ay deception na hitabo basta naka-benefit ng company, okay na siya. So, that's how it goes. And lastly, is the criticism of principles ni Albert Ross. So, of course, dalang yung criticize na kay firstly pa na kay ang deception dito is morally wrong even if it helps a business. And as a tabot na siya ng criticism para sa kapuan ng Albert Ross. So, Carl's theory supports ethical relativism, meaning what's right in business may be wrong in personal life. So, and thus it separates business ethics from personal morality, which many philosophers disagree with. So that's our common report.
Okay, so everyone, before we get to understand what is justice, may I ask, some simple words lang, what is justice? Iran. Alright. So justice is connected to fairness. Justice comes from the word just, which means fair and right. At its core, justice is about treating people a fair and responsible way. So, what is fairness to So fairness, people should get what they deserve based on their actions, efforts, or needs. For example, if a worker does a job and is paid fairly based on their work and productivity, that is justice. Justice is a part of moral and social order. It helps society balance and fair. So, absolute justice is hard to achieve in real life. So in practice, we often rely on relative justice, meaning what is considered fair in a given situation. Next. So there are different types of justice, each focusing on a different aspect of fairness. First is the procedural justice. So procedural justice emphasizes fairness in the process
lang.
or parents. Okay. So this is about how resources, benefits, and burdens are shared in society. So main ideas of distributive justice is treat people equally when they are equal and differently when they are unequal. So based yan po siya sa need, ability, or situation. So how it works? Resources may be limited, so decisions must be fair. For instance, sick or disabled people may get priority over healthy people, and first come first served might apply when resources are scarce. Fairness is central to distributive justice, especially in public policies, social welfare, and economic distribution.
So our next topic is the theories of justice. Theories of justice has three types, which are the utilitarian theory, egalitarian theory, and capitalist theory. So utilitarian theory is a branch of consequentialist ethics. It's about doing or making the things that create the most happiness for the most people. So utilitarian theory it holds that each action has its consequences, and individual try to take action with the best consequences. So it's about doing the most good for the most people, but it is not always simple and fair. Example is the company facing tough times. So in utilitarian, it says that the best choice is the one that makes the most people happy overall. So if plano nilang matanggalin nila ang 100 people para sa kayuhan sa 1,000 at malain nila na employee. So under utilitarian theory, it says that it is the right thing to do, even if it's hard on those 100 people. So it was like saying we're causing pain, but less pain than doing nothing. So binasiguro nila ang kayuhan sa tanan kontra sa tanan sila mapekhan and mag-suffer na kaya wala sila yung So the next
Yun next.
The next theory is the utilitarian theory of justice. So utilitarian theory is based on the equality in a matter of distribution of burdens and benefit. So utilitarian is the most important theory of disruptive justice. So it says that everyone should have equal access to good things and share burdens equally with the richest and poorest people will get the same healthcare, basic same taxes, and etc. So it says that this theory is nice, but looking thus really treat everyone the same regardless of their differences. Example is, one person is single and have a stable job, while the other person has a large family support and earns very little money. Under egalitarian, they both get or receive equal access to service and goods. Thus, equal treatment isn't always fair treatment. Because fairness sometimes means giving more to those who need more, not just dividing things equally. The next is, this theory could reduce people drive to work harder or achieve more. If everyone is treated the same, no matter how hard they work or how talented they are, then people might stop trying to do their best. Example is, imagine a person who is very smart, works long hours, and create new ideas or invention. If that person gets the same rewards as someone who doesn't work at all, they might feel like there's no point in putting extra effort. The next one is, this idea of absolute equality means everyone gets exactly the same thing, whether it's money, benefit, or responsibilities. But in real life, it doesn't work well and can seem unfair because some people are very different. Some people have more skills, more money, and more responsibilities, while others might have less. So instead of treating everyone exactly the same, it's better to think about what each person can do and what they really need. So regardless, example is one that can be used as an example is when it comes to paying taxes. It wouldn't make sense to ask rich people and poor people to pay the same amount. A rich person can afford to pay more because they have more resources, while poor people might struggle to pay anything at all. So regardless of people's differences and the idea that fairness might mean treating them differently, everyone still has the same political rights. This means people have equal rights, opportunities to vote, express view. So capitalist theory means that people should be rewarded based on how much they contribute in their works. It supports inequality because it believes that differences in what people do or produce should result in differences in their rewards. So in other words, the more effort, skills, value someone adds, the more they earn or receive. It accepts that people are different in abilities and talents, so it's fair for rewards to be different too. So example is the highly skilled surgeon who performs complicated operations and saves lives. It is seen as contributing more than someone who does a less demanding job. So under this theory, it's fair that doctors earn higher salaries because their contribution is greater. This idea supports the belief that people should be rewarded based on how much they help or produce. Next is the criticism against capitalist theory. Capitalist theory of justice can be seen as unfair to people who are already at a disadvantage. It only focuses on how much a person can contribute and ignores people's needs. It does not consider those who have fewer abilities or opportunities, such as a physically disabled or socially disadvantaged. This theory also does not make space for helping individuals who need extra support to live a decent and fair life. Second is, this theory is unfair because it depends on market prices to decide how much someone should earn. But market prices does not always show the true value of a person's work. So this system can lead to unfair results where important jobs get low pay and less important